Hey, Jackie K here, and this will probably be an add-on to the one editorial you're listening to now. Hello. Greetings, this is Jackie K. This will probably just be an add-on to the editorial that you're currently listening to, but I want to take a minute to talk about the second half of Season 6, because I ever since finished the recording of that, but before I could upload it, they did give us an update of what the Season 6 half is going to be like, and honestly it's not as exciting or game-changing as I thought it would be, but I think it was worth bringing up. Essentially, they're doing another wave, which I don't know, with the whole big thing of them having a season that was twice as long and dividing it in half. I was kind of wondering if they were going to do the Great Ultra Master and then Free for All in the traditional time frame, and then the second half would be something we got in Season 5 of a Specialized Cup. And that's half true. Let me just break it down what we got. The Great League will run from Monday, January 11th to Monday, January 25th. Good chunk of time of just Great League. Ultra League, as well as its Premier Cup, will run from January 25th to February 8th. Master League, the Premier Cup, Master League Classic, and a to-be-announced Special Cup will run from Monday, February 8th to Monday, February 15th. Okay, I think I know where we're going to actually save all the content and what week I have to rearrange all my already scheduled uploads around to make sure that I have a free week without any GBL uploads, to just upload content within the same week that it was actually released. And I didn't think they'd be doing a Specialized Cup alongside Master League, especially considering the part all three leagues and Ultra League will run from February 15th to Monday, February 22nd. I think I see why they're doing this now though. From February 22nd to March 1st, it'll be exclusively Kanto Cup. If you were around for the last rodeo that was Kanto Cup, it seems like the rules are going to be just the same. Great League CP limit, only Pokemon between 1 and 151, so the original Kanto decks. But the catch is, your rating will be unaffected, so you're free to just go out, be as experimental with it as you want. It's for the fun, if nothing else, and I can get behind that. That's the kind of thing I kind of want out of GBL, to be honest. I got that taste in Season 5, and I haven't gotten over it since. I do appreciate having the standardized cups every now and then too, though. Special things aren't special if you have them all the time. They just become the new norm. And I guess while I'm reading this update, I might as well mention that some of the mechanics things that they've updated with the second half of Season 2. When you reach rank 20, you'll get a guaranteed encounter with Fish, a new Pokemon for Pokemon Go. A little more backstory on it: it's a ghost water type that originally came out in the Unova region, aka it was originally part of Gen 5. I don't know if it will really change the meta, but from what I remember from the main series games, it has a lot of bulk and has made an establishment quite a few times, especially early on in its release in the main series games, just because of its bulk alone. Though its ability that it also got an addition helped with that, but it wasn't the only thing that made it special, so I can see it running amok in Great League, maybe even Ultra League. And people that pay attention to that more than I do probably already got a feel for it. And this kind of addresses a criticism I had with the first half of the season, where there just wasn't really anything special or exciting to make GBL worth climbing through. But it's still one new Pokemon, or one exciting Pokemon, in a sea of starters and less interesting things. So it doesn't change things that much, but I figured I'd at least bring it up. The real cool thing though is that at rank 19, you'll receive an Elite Charge TM, but you'll also receive an elite fast TM at the end of the season if you reach rank 19. So we're effectively getting both a charge and a fast elite TM, which is super nice and really helps make up for the fact that the seasons are going to be twice as long as they used to be. Also, if I can get behind. Now, I'm probably going to breeze through this part. Maybe if people are interested, I'll do an editorial on this separately. But we also got some attack updates. I think they're not going to be applied until the second half of the season starts, but I haven't been paying too close attention to those. First, I want to go over the quote-unquote new moves. Remember back when Vulpix was in the voting pool for a potential community day, and the thing that I was going to get was Weather Ball? The Fire one getting Fire Weather Ball, and the Ice one getting Ice Weather Ball. Well, we may not be having a Vulpix community day, but we did get the shiny of both Alolan Vulpix even before that poll took place. And since then, we've had an event that's released the shiny form of the Kanto form. At long last, we're finally getting Weather Ball on those Pokemon as well. That's honestly kind of like the most disappointing thing about Vulpix not winning that poll, just because I was so excited to see what Weather Ball would bring on Vulpix of things. I on one hand, like, it always sucks when a new Pokemon learns Weather Ball, because that's like another notch against Cast Form, considering like Weather Ball was the niche that made it so special, especially like Icy Cast Form that has no move diversity whatsoever. As more and more Pokemon get Ice Weather Ball, Cast Form becomes less and less relevant, and as a fan of Cast Form, that makes me sad, but I also do appreciate other Pokemon getting the move. Maybe Niantic can make up for like doing Cast Form a little dirty and taking away a signature move and giving it to other Pokemon by giving us a little bit more diversity in Cast Form's move pool. Maybe like some better fast moves. Icy Cast Form just needs any sort of coverage that would bump up its usability a lot, and it would be appreciated. And Politoed's apparently getting Weather Ball, so like all the Cast Forms are getting a little getting chipped away at a little bit today. In addition, Primeape's gonna get Ice Punch. Claydol's gonna get Ice Beam. I'm not sure. Primeape's never really been one you talk about in PvP, but Ice Punch is a nice move, and I can see it complementing Primeape well. I just don't know if it complemented well enough to make it competitively viable. But I mean, hey, we're getting the Kanto Cup coming up soon, so maybe that will be enough reason for people to use Primeape. Claydol's also getting Shadow Ball? I honestly see that being more useful for Claydol than Ice Beam. But again, Claydol's one of those Pokemon we don't really hear about too often in GBL, so I'm looking forward to seeing how it adjusts the Pokemon. And oh man, this is oh my god, I just realized the last two are hype, and I only was aware of the one. Mudshot is... Excadrill's getting Mudshot, which is going to bump it up a bit. Not just for PvP, but in the raid scene, because it used to be one of the better ground types to use for a raid. But then, like, it kind of got jiffed by Groudon when they, like, buffed Earthquake again to make it more viable than Drill Run. I think Mudshot should help at least make it the best non-ground type legendary, if it wasn't already. And it'll help people who don't have the candies or resources to power up a Groudon for raid, make them feel a little bit better about having Excadrill. So, like, if you're needing some ground types for your raid teams, I would highly take advantage of the Unova event going on currently. Not sure if it'll still be going on by the time this podcast goes up, but for people watching it on the live stream as I'm talking about it, definitely worth stock up on your drill burrs now, because Mudshot alone should make Excadrill a lot more viable than it already is. And it wasn't even a terrible ground type to begin with before, it kind of just got outshined. Oh, but I forgot about the most exciting part about all this. I think one of the most disappointing things about Porygon Community Day was the fact that Porygon Z got Tri-Attack and none of its other forms. because the weird Porygon is a weird evolutionary chain. Porygon Z is technically the last one in the line, but the stats between Porygon 2 and Porygon Z are so drastically different that both Pokemon have their own establishments in the competitive scene. Porygon Z is basically like an all-out attacker, which doesn't really translate well to competitive Pokemon Go. Porygon 2 is a lot more defensive. And like there was some places for Porygon 2, very niche ones I believe, but I think there was still a place. So the point I'm getting at is Tri-Attack was a lot more useful for Porygon 2, but Porygon Z ended up being the one to get the move because I just heard community day tradition of having the final stage of the evolution get the move. And in normal situations that would be great. Like, what would be the point of an Ivysaur getting Blast? Well, that would be weird. But what would be the point of like a Ivysaur getting Frenzy Plant or a Charmeleon getting Blast Burn? You want to evolve it up all the way. It's kind of like with how in the very first community day ever that Pikachu got Surf. Like, it was a cool novelty, but because you couldn't evolve up that Surf and have your Raichu learn it, like, you never really got use out of the move in a battling sense. Alright, now going back to the buffs and nerfs of things that are already in the game. And man, I feel like this update in particular is like, Jacket K, it is time to let your old reliable core go in retirement. Because I feel kind of called out with some of the updates here. Ember deals more damage now. And it's a quick move, so it's I doubt it's like Incinerate levels. I don't got the stats exactly on me. That'd probably be useful to have, but I wasn't planning on going that deep into this. So Ember does more damage, so it might have some. I'm not quite sure what niche it does, but it doesn't make it worse, which Ember kind of needed. Karate Chop now generates more energy. I'm kind of curious how much more energy it gets, because before this point, Counter was the end-all be-all fighting type quick move, just because not only did it do a solid amount of damage, but it was also real solid with the amount of energy it gave you. So I'm curious if Karate Chop gains more energy than Counter now. So like, it's going to be a situation where if you want to get to your charge moves faster, you go with Karate Chop. But if you want raw damage, you would go with Counter. That would bring an interesting dynamic to Go Battle League. Oh, poor Swimmer's B. Bubble will now do less damage. And I feel like that was like directly towards Zoomerol and Mantine in particular. Razor Leaf does less damage. Thank goodness. Like, I've been lucky enough not to run into it too many times, but I've only heard the horror stories of freaking Grass Core. And I'm not gonna go into details of how it works, but Razor Leaf was incredibly powerful, especially on strong heavy hitters like Shadow Victory Bell. So nerfing Razor Leaf kind of feels like a directly addressing that issue. Crabhammer does more damage, so maybe we'll actually see in GBL now. Sky Attack does less damage, which I never noticed Sky Attack as is being a problematic thing. Like, especially with Brave Bird, like it kind of stinks because like you don't really want to use Brave Bird that often because it's just a high that extra defense. Oh, is the dog barking peeking up on the mic? I don't even know why he's freaking barking. Like, there should be plenty of people directly addressing him. Give me a sec. I just want to make sure all that's sorted out. But I mean, he hasn't barked in like 2 seconds, so I think it's all good. I think they're just like playing with him and getting him excited. Where was I? Yeah, I kind of don't know if I agree with Sky Attacking nerf. But then again, I'm also two of my Pokemon that I used to use on Reliable are Azumarill and Skarmory, 2 Pokemon that are directly affected by this update. So maybe there's some bias there. Rock Slide will do less damage. Like, again, I didn't see anything wrong with Rock Slide before, but maybe it's just like pushing the fact that it's more for getting the fact that you get energy to it quicker. Nah, but I don't know. It's not like a. It's closer to a 2-bar energy move than a 3-bar energy move, so I'm not quite sure about that. And Shadow Bone does less damage. Like, I wouldn't have complained if this change didn't come, but I do. This one I can actually see. Shadow Bone was pretty powerful from what it is. Like, I don't think it was supposed to be as powerful as Shadow Ball, but that two of them felt very similar to the point where I can imagine a nerf coming to Shadow Bone. So, that's what I think about it. And with all that said, I'll leave it out to the podcast listeners to feel free to give me feedback on what you think about this update, particularly the move one. And I'll just jump over to some GBL myself. Take care.